Hello, as always, I want to thank you for sharing some of your time with me. I want to begin today's lesson by just asking a question. In life, have you ever been lost? Maybe you've lost your way, lost your bearings, maybe you lost some friends, and maybe you lost a sense of direction or purpose, or maybe you've even lost other things, loved ones, etc. Sometimes, getting lost in life just happens. But what's more important is that we get back on course and we see God restore and recover things that at times we lose or mishandle, or we just get misguided or misdirected. Well, there's a story about a man who went in the mountains for a hike, and suddenly the weather changed and he lost his bearings. In the course of time, he found an outpost and he talked to the ranger, and he had a map and he knew where he wanted to go, and he said, "This is where I'm at. How do I get from here over to there?" And the ranger said, "You have to go back to where you began. You cannot get there from here." Sometimes that's what God has us to do. He has us to go back so we can go forward. Sometimes when we lose our way, or we lose our sense of direction or purpose, or we even lose something more important, our first love for Christ, God calls us back to Himself. I want to read out of Revelation chapter 2 and verse 5. You know the context here. The context is the church at Ephesus is doing a lot of things well, but there was one thing that they did that was detrimental to everything else that was good, and that is they left their first love. They lost the significance and the importance of Jesus and the relationship that they had with Him in their life. And this is what he says in verse 5. "Remember, therefore, from where you have fallen, repent and do the first works, or else I'll come to you quickly, remove the lampstand from its place, unless you repent." The Lord is asking us to consider our ways sometimes. Have you lost your way? Is Jesus lost His place in your life as your first love? That's a pretty personal question, but it's one that I think pastorally I can't avoid. I have to ask. I have to ask myself that question. I have to reflect on my attitude and my actions and my lifestyles to make sure that I'm in keeping with keeping Christ first. Now, here's the great instruction here. The first thing that the Lord asks us to do is, hey, just go back to where you fell. Most of us know where we began to fall away from Christ. We know the moment we began to put other things in front of Him and we did not prioritize our life with Him. He says, go back and remember where you fell. Secondly, I want you to turn away from what you're doing in order to go back. I want you to repent, change your mind. Quit trying to believe that you can get from where you are to where you need to be without Him. That's just impossible, isn't it? It's just futility. And then the third thing he says is do the first works. In other words, get your priorities back in place. You know that Jesus, and I know Jesus, needs to be first and have preeminence. So let's get Him there. I want to encourage us all to embrace the love of God that He has for us and let it transform us. Let's not neglect this great gift of salvation. Let's don't take it for granted, think that it's common or it's ordinary. Let's not allow ourselves to become too familiar with Jesus, that, we take Him for granted. Let's keep Him first. So I want to encourage you as I finish today to do this. Embrace the love of God, and then love God. How? With all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Let's keep Jesus first place. And if you slipped and fallen, go back to the beginning. He's right there waiting for you. God bless you. Have a great day.